Hello everybody. So in this video, I'll be reacting to a video I saw on CNBC by Suze Orman. Those of you who don't know Suze Orman, she's a renowned personal finance expert. And so she is talking about how couples, anyway, I'm not going to give it to you what she's talking about. I'm just going to react to this video. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to watch the video together, and I'll react to the video as it goes on. I'll pause here and there and give you my 2 cents on what I think about it and what we can learn from it. All right, let's do this.
When you get married, people say, till death do you part. I don't think so. It's till debt do you part. And M just doesn't stand for marriage. It also stands for money. And so many times, the person who makes the most money is the one that they feel has the most power. Money doesn't determine if you're the most powerful or not. Hi everybody, Suze Orman here, better known as the world's personal finance expert. Many people like to call me the money lady. I've been with KT for over 20 years. How many joint accounts do we have? Let me see if I can remember. None. We don't have one joint account. She has her money, I have my money. There's obviously our real estate we own jointly, and it works just fine.
So right there, I find that very interesting, right? And I want to make a comment. She said that the spouse, I'm assuming it's a spouse. I don't know what the situation is here, but anyway, the partner, whatever, whatever the situation is, I'm not gonna go into that. But for couples that are married, right, in a partnership, I don't believe there is such a thing as this is hers or this is his. Okay, and so there's a scripture that talks about the two shall become one. Now, what's fascinating is that people are willing to share a bed. They're willing to share the struggles. They're willing to share children. And they're willing to share their bodies in the most intimate ways. And I'm talking about couples here, people that are married. And yet, they still feel they can't share their money. So she talked about, those that make more money feel that they're more powerful. I don't think there should be any power dynamic in a marriage just because of money. Now, do others feel more powerful? Yes. However, ideally, when a couple comes together, when the two become one inside a home, there's nobody who's the boss just because they make more money. This is a union. This is a unit. One. Right? One. Meaning, there's nobody who has more money than the other person. They shouldn't be. That's what marriage is. It's two lives coming together, becoming one. Spiritually, physically, financially, and whatever situation you might think of. It should be one, not two. And therefore, the idea that a person thinks of their money as my money, I find absurd. And again, this is my opinion, right? The idea that a wife can say, I have my own money, is ridiculous. The idea that a husband can say, I have my own money, doesn't make any sense. People that want to be single and be married at the same time, I don't know how you can do that. If a person wants to be single, just be single and have your own money and just do life that way. But if you want to call the union you have marriage, right? Marriage. You cannot be single or live your life as a single person and be married. It just can't be. Again, this is my opinion. You have yours, I have mine. Ideally, I believe a couple should be one. one mind. Now, see, I'll tell you how we try to do it in our household. All right, I'll tell you how we try to do it in our household. Yes, we put all our money together, and so what happens is in that budget. I'm hoping that you have a budget, a single budget for the family. What you do is you have an allowance. Okay, each of you guys have an allowance for that individual person, and you have another for the, so in this case to be one for the wife, one for the husband, and you agree on a set amount that you're gonna pay each other, if you want to call it paying, right? Let's say you're gonna give each other maybe $200 a month, or you give each other $500 a month. It doesn't matter. Just depends on what you can afford to give each other. After you've paid everything else, okay, both of you are a bill on your budget. What I mean, like if you're gonna pay AT&T, or if you're gonna pay whatever, you guys need to pay yourself a certain amount of money. Why do you want to do that? So that you don't have to ask the other person, hey, what did you spend this on? What did you spend the other thing on? They can spend all that. They can spend that money however they want. They don't have to ask you anything because it's theirs. Okay, and that's fair. It's not, hey, so and so makes more money, therefore a certain percentage. There is no percent. If the husband makes $7,000 and the wife makes $3,000, you put your money together, it becomes $10,000. Everybody gets $500 a month. If you've agreed on $500, as this is my money, I can do anything I want with it. This is my money, I can do anything I want with it, right? Because you already have a budget, and then your savings are your savings together. Your retirement is your retirement together. Any money that you're planning a future with is your money together. Okay? Spending money, and in my case, well, we come from a background where we do support our family members. That's just what we do, right? And she wants to support her family. I want to support my family. And what I mean by my family, extended family, you have your father, mother, whatever it is, that family. And people do it differently, okay? But where I'm from, that's just what we do. She doesn't have to come to me and say, hey, look, I need money to give so-and-so. I need money to support so-and-so's school fees and A, B, C, and D. She doesn't have to do that because what? She's going to use her money. I don't have to do the same thing because I'm going to use my money. Okay? She wants to do her hair. She wants to do whatever it is. She can use her money. I want to do my little thing. I can use my money. No questions asked. Okay? No one has a higher percent than the other. Nobody's putting a high percent on the mortgage. There is only a mortgage bill. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Okay? Nobody's putting more money on A, B, C, and D and say 8%. Nobody does those things, right? Because we just put our money together. One day you never know. One person might be making more than the other. We're not going to change no percentages. That's just what we do because we are one. It just so happens that, at a particular time, I am the one who's making more money, or she's the one who's making more money. It doesn't matter who's making what. At the end of the day, you're a couple. You put your money together, you pay the bills, you pay yourself, whatever it is, and you forge a future together. Okay? Because what? You are a unit. You win together. You go through thick and thin. You honor those vows that you made. Actually, they meant something to you, and that's just what you do. So let's see what else she has to say.
You all should be autonomous human beings. You've come into this relationship as an autonomous human being. You have to have money of your own. The last thing you want to do is to have to ask permission. You might have a joint account for joint expenses, but then you each need your own individual account. Let's just say.
So she here again, she talks about you are autonomous. Okay. Yes, of course you are you are a person, right? You are autonomous. However, your autonomy does not go to what you own. Okay. What you own, there is no such a thing as I own this in a marriage. There shouldn't be. Okay. This partnership, everything is owned by the two. And I mean that. You can't be your own person. Your own person. Now, You being an individual, you didn't see as being an individual when you married this individual. But we're talking about being a union, you know, coming together. You cannot be your own person. You cannot be your own person. Your life is the other person's. Their life is yours, and your two lives merged to become one in every way. Right? Let's see what else she has to say.
You move in together and your partner or spouse is making $7,000 a month take home, you're bringing home $3,000 a month take home, but yet your joint expenses are $3,000 a month. Most people would say, well, let's just split it. But $1,500 a month for you is 50% of what you're bringing in versus maybe 25% of what your partner or spouse is bringing in. That's not how you're going to do it. This is what I want you to do. You have the $7,000 and the $3,000, that's $10,000. And you divide that into your household expenses, your joint expenses, $3,000. That's like 30%. Therefore, 30% of your $3,000 a month take home, or $900, goes into your account. 30% of the $7,000 take home, $2,100 a month, goes into the account. That's $3,000. Equal percentages, but not equal amounts of money.
So, equal percentages, but not equal amounts of money. This household assumes that it's actually possible in this marriage to where one of the partners is richer than the other, right? So let's say one of the partners makes $1 million, the other one only makes $100,000. So according to Suze's advice, is that in this situation you can have a man. Let's say you can have a woman, right? Let's say the woman makes $1 million and the husband makes $100,000. That's just for argument's sake. You can have a lady who actually is richer than the husband. Okay. Oh, so what if then you say, yeah, very possible. What if the husband or the wife inherited money from her parents, right, before they got married? Of course, let's say she brought in $2 million, and the guy didn't have any money, right? Or he only has $200,000. It's not fair that all of a sudden they own the same money, or they own that money, a total asset. In this case, you add 2 million to 200, $2.2 million portfolio. They own it. Of course they do. Of course they do. Of course they do. Now, some of you guys are gonna disagree with that. Well, to each his own. But I'll tell you this. That's what it means. The two shall become one. Okay? Now, Scripture says the two shall become one flesh. But in addition to becoming one flesh, they do become one in every other way. Okay? If my wife brings $500,000 to the marriage, I bring $100,000. Now the marriage has $600,000. Now you're thinking, oh, what happens if we decide to go away? Well, we're not planning on going our separate ways. That's the only difference. You know what I'm saying? Do things happen? Of course they do. But that's not how it's supposed to be. Should we plan on what happens tomorrow? We're not going to plan on what happens tomorrow. Because already you'll be setting yourself up for failure. Because what? You will do what it takes to keep your word, to keep your commitments. To death do us part. She says to death. No. No death should be doing your part. You knock that debt together. You knock it out together. Okay? You pay it off together. You know what I'm saying? You do for the other what you'd like to be done unto you. And you say, oh, that's just not fair for the other person who didn't have. That's why it's called marriage. It doesn't have to be fair. There is no such a thing as being fair. When you make a commitment, if you're the one who has the assets and you choose to be one with another person, it means you will bring your assets to that marriage and you'll share those assets. If you're the one who is poor, you will bring your poverty to that marriage and you share that poverty, meaning that the other person will be impacted by that. Those are decisions the couple has to make together. Their assets are theirs together. So, let's come back to joint accounts. You must have a joint account. You must have a joint account. And then the way we do it, you don't have to do it the way we do it. Each one of you should have an account where your allowance goes. And that allowance, you can spend. That's your money. That keeps your individuality. That money can be spent however you want, no questions asked. But you can't come back to the joint account and spend it however you want. No, 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 no. Because the budget, if you have a budget, it won't let you spend that kind of money. And I'm hoping you have a zero-based budget such that when you calculate everything else, at the end of the day, there's zero. So if you try to go back to try to get money, there is no money because every dollar is allocated for something. It's assigned to something. And by the time you're paying yourselves, there is no money left, and therefore you just can't go back there and spend whatever money. And we'll talk about how a budget is done and everything else in marriage. But that's my 2 cents. So to answer the question about, hey, should people have a joint account? Absolutely, they should have a joint account. They should share their money. They should share everything they have. They should share the inheritance. They should share, bonuses. Everything that comes to the household belongs to the household. And you know what? 50-50. If you want to share, it is 50-50. It's owned by the two. But you don't want to think about it as in 50-50 because it should always, ideally, it should always be 100% belongs to the both parties. All right, let me comment below and tell me what you guys think, whether you agree with 50-50, whether there's situations where, whether you agree with, having a joint account, sharing all your assets, everything, sharing everything, or you disagree, and tell me why you disagree. Let's have a discussion around this very sensitive topic, but that's just my opinion on it. All right. See you guys later in the next video. Bye.